Today's first topic of discussion shines a spotlight on Gayton McKenzie, the leader of the Patriotic Alliance. Earlier this week, he released a tweet defending Renaldo Gouws, a DA member of parliament and spokesperson for economic development. However, a video of Gouws has been circulating all over the internet of him saying the most despicable and ruthless things. But before we read McKenzie's tweets, let's watch the video first.
Alright, so there's a couple of things I want to say, okay? Kill the fucking Kafirs, kill all the fucking niggers. That's all I've got to fucking say. Kill all the Kafirs, kill all the fucking niggers. So the chief of the police in South Africa, is making it a mission now to curb farm murders. And here you have the ANC Youth League president singing about killing the farmer, killing the boer. And both of them are from, the ANC, or they support the ANC. So how the fuck does that work, all right? And then, in 90 days, we're going to have the World Cup in South Africa. And here you have an ignorant little fucking black idiot singing about kill the boer, kill the farmer, And the best part is the ANC is going to, we'll have a talk to him about that, We won't fire him, we won't dismiss him, we won't discipline him. We'll have a talk about this with him, But we all know nothing's going to happen. But now this is what I want to know, right? If I had to go in the street and get about 50 white people and start saying kill the Kafirs, kill the niggers, what do you think's going to happen? I can't get a job because I'm white, right? I'm being discriminated against. What happened in apartheid? Black people were discriminated against, right? The white people back in the day that were ignorant sang about killing fucking black people. Well, they didn't even sing. They killed black people, For instance, I'm using an example. Well, now we're in the situation where the black people are discriminating against white people and the black people are singing about killing white people. So, in essence, this is the new apartheid and I'm the sufferer of that. So, in 10 to 15 years, will I be able to have an uprising and basically shoot black people because I feel that, my rights has been taken away from me? But let me sing, kill the black people. What will happen? Let any white person in this country go on a public forum and sing about killing black people, and then you'll see what happens. That's all I've got to say. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
In a tweet, McKenzie said, "I can't stand this guy. He's not a good person in my opinion. He never lets a day pass without bringing up my past during campaigning. He reminded people every day that I was once a criminal, but to want to change or remove him from parliament for something he said 16 years ago is wrong. It's sick." Simply McKenzie saying that it's unfair that people want to remove Gouws for something that he said 16 years ago. However, a few hours later, McKenzie went from defending Gouws to apologizing for defending him in the first place. Why the sudden U-turn, McKenzie? This is what he had to say in a tweet. "I'm going to take it a step further by leading the charge against him in Parliament. We shall also tomorrow report him at the Equality Court." McKenzie also says, "I was wrong about Renaldo Gouws and would like to apologize. Someone very close to him confirmed that he hates black people still and sent us his racist video. I apologize again for coming up for him. I should have kept my ideas of redemption to people that are truly remorseful." End quote. As for McKenzie, he's receiving a lot of mixed reactions, mainly backlash about his move, with some saying that it takes a lot for a leader to admit that he's wrong, and others arguing that he isn't even ready to lead yet. But of all the tweets, one really stands out. Someone said, "Deport him to Europe," which sounds like a joke to many, but this is actually part of McKenzie's manifesto. Abahambe, right? Which is quite hypocritical of him, considering McKenzie's selective sympathy. If it were an African person or a person of color, he wouldn't have been so sympathetic towards them like he was with Gouws. It seems as though McKenzie was only trying to impress the DA by standing up for one of their MPs, rather than fully understanding the situation. He quickly shifted from defending to criticizing Gouws, making him seem inconsistent and unreliable. McKenzie also ignored all the warnings from his followers and fellow Patriotic Alliance supporters, missing out on valuable advice and finally embarrassing himself in front of everyone. Since Gouws has been a hot topic this week, let's shift gears from McKenzie to how the DA is handling his video situation. Let's delve deep into the DA's perspective and the defense strategy for him. A lot of people on social media were calling for Renaldo Gouws to be removed because of all the racial slurs and because of the video. The DA has released a statement actually saying that they've suspended Gouws, and John Steenhuisen took the time of day to even apologize on his behalf. Let's watch this video.
I think the remarks need to be seen in their context. He's apologized for them. It was 16 years ago. When people are young and irresponsible, they're young and irresponsible. He's acknowledged that. He realizes he's now a member of parliament and he now has to abide by the rules of the caucus.
No plans to be like it.
Well, we'll have to see what the party processes are going forward. I'm not familiar with those.
In Steenhuisen's case, he argues that Gouws' reason for creating such a disturbing video is that he was, I quote, young and irresponsible, which is an inadequate answer. It's completely wrong. This is because Gouws was not young at that time. If Gouws is 41 years old now, then 16 years ago he would have been 25 years old, an age at which, according to Google, the brain is fully developed, which made him a fully mature adult who was fully aware of his actions and his words. Now, please allow me to introduce someone in our topic of discussion, whose story sheds light on an important issue. This is Varashni Pillay, a name you might not know yet, but someone who's experienced DA's racism firsthand. Her perspective is crucial in understanding this issue. For those who don't know her, she was an editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post South Africa and the Mail and Guardian. Listen to this clip.
I know. I failed so publicly that it made global headlines. You've probably heard my story. I was the former editor of the Mail and Guardian and then went on to be the editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post South Africa. It was during my time at HuffPost that it happened. A fake, racially provocative blog was submitted to my blog's editor by someone who claimed to be a woman and a feminist. The blog was critiquing white men, so it absolutely blew up. The author started coming under very heavy sexist cyberbullying. This was triggering for me, as I've similarly been exposed to that. So I jumped into the fray. I wrote a response calling for civil debate, making clear that I did not agree with everything the author had said, but agreeing that white men have historically held disproportionate power. As you can imagine, people were very angry. So when the blog turned out to be a fraud, it absolutely blew up. It turned out that it was a hoax by a white man designed to expose me and my newsroom. But the fact was that I had made a mistake. There were many things that I could and should have done better in that process. So I did a lot of introspection. I apologized deeply and from the heart. I looked at processes to fix the newsroom. I brought experts in to look at what we could do better. But it wasn't enough. It seems these days that no apology is. So here's what happened. Over the next few days, a small group of people ran a surprisingly powerful social media campaign demanding that I be fired. There were some influential people amongst this group, including journalists and even the chief whip of our opposition party, John Steenhuisen, who somehow found time to tweet me 33 times in that first day, demanding that I resign. The pressure ratcheted up and up and up. It was the week from hell. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think straight. I was under attack from every side, including my company. It's very hard to make a rational decision in that place. Within a few days of that blog being published, our press ombudsman delivered a ruling that can only be described as vicious. Other editors had made similar mistakes. None had been given such a harsh ruling or such a wrong interpretation of the South African Press Code. I would later go on to appeal the ruling and would win it, but at the time, it was the final nail in the coffin. I resigned a week after that blog was published. I would then go on to withdraw from public life largely and to go silent. And several months later, I was diagnosed with severe depression. Before the age of 35, I believed my life was over. I believed I had zero.
The full video will be linked in the description down below. It's so fascinating how John Steenhuisen swiftly removed Varashni Pillay over a racist article she didn't even write, probably even using one of his associates to test her response. Meanwhile, his white associate, Renaldo Gouws, made derogatory remarks about various racial groups and faced minimal consequences, only a suspension. Steenhuisen even apologized on behalf of Gouws, blaming it on his youthfulness at the time, despite Gouws being 25 years old, a full adult. In a tweet, Varashni Pillay said, "You were far less gracious towards me when I was younger and had made mistakes. You demanded that I resign or be fired. Renaldo had said and done far worse. Different strokes for different folks, or is racism only an issue when white people are affected?" Listen to this clip.
I think the remarks need to be seen in their context. He's apologized for them. It was 16 years ago. You know, when people are young and irresponsible, they're young and irresponsible. And he's acknowledged that. He realizes he's now a member of parliament and he now has to abide by the rules of the caucus.
I'm sure John Steenhuisen is all for rehabilitation of raging racists like Renaldo Gouws, about how when he did something 16 years ago, he was just young and irresponsible and we should just give him another chance. And I find this hilarious because when I was younger, a good 7 years ago, and I was editor of the Mail and Guardian and then editor of HuffPost, John Steenhuisen made it like a habit or like his side job to just tweet me over every little thing I did wrong and tell me again and again how I should resign, how I should be fired. He would tweet my bosses and tell them they should fire me and try to make sure that I would never work in a newsroom again. Even after I resigned over a mistake I made at Huffington Post, John Steenhuisen kept tweeting me and telling me what a terrible human being I am. So my question to John is, does this idea of being gracious to people when they were young and made mistakes only apply to white men?
Now, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for tuning into our discussion today. We strive to keep you informed with the latest updates and insights. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and feel free to comment down below to let us know your thoughts. And until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.